right. You know what it is. It's your boy Linky, and welcome to another episode 9. Deep.Organic.Phuckery. I'm your boy Linky.
And I'm Chris Strikes. We are back.
And you already know this is a man. Damion. Wait.
Let's take a sip.
Jesus what?
Let's take a sip.
Jesus is not even in this.
Like all of us are a man. We're gonna say the man like me and Chris Strikes are what?
I don't want to say the boy. I don't want to say your boy or whoever boy. I don't want to say that.
Oh, so you're somebody's man?
Huh? Like what?
Already.
All right.
Like
episode 9. You know what I mean? Wow, Chris Strikes, what's going on? I see you repping Nigeria, brother.
Good, repping Nigeria today. They had a big draw in the Women's World Cup. Canada, unfortunately, bounced out by a terrible performance against Australia.
But does that mean they're wagonists? Because you're going with who?
No. Because
you're Canadian.
No. I do have my Canadian jersey and whatever.
So that's what you should wear. Support your team regardless.
No, because so the reason why Canada lost, and we can get into the trending topics.
Nice.
The reason why, or one of the factors to why Canada lost, is about a lot of the things going on off the pitch. So
you have the inside scoop. What's going on?
I mean, there's like a lot of mistreatment with the players from the federation of both the men's and women's team, and especially the women's team. And they just the men's team just put out, or a spokesperson for the men's team, with the okay of the spokesperson for the women's team, just put out a cease and desist order because Canada Soccer, the federation, has been using the players' like image and likeness and stuff to promote Canada Soccer against the players' wishes because they're not getting paid fairly or they're not getting paid adequately.
Right.
So and this has been going on for a while. The grievances between the federation and the players, and this has affected. It seems like the women more because we were in the time of going into the World Cup, even though the men's just came out of the World Cup. So this has been something that's going on between them. And when you watch the performance today against Australia, Canada looked out of character. Like, there's no way Australia...
No motivation, eh?
Yeah, there's no way Australia should have beaten them 4-0.
Yeah, but still, where's your pride as a player? Like, I don't want to get no 4-0 from nobody. I don't care what money there is. I don't care what quarrel there is. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying. They're demotivated, but still, 4-0. Come on. You
should know what that's like, because regularly I used to, you know what I mean? Kill you in the soccer, so we're not even gonna go there.
Linky, can you tell me one time you've ever beaten me in a soccer game with any team that you're playing on?
There's numerous of time, big guy. Come on now, let's not get into history. I don't wanna.
You know, Chris Strikes. You know what this guy did one time?
What happened?
So one time we're playing ball, right? And this guy's like, "Yo, I used to go to boys champs. I used to run. I used to do this. I used to do that." Right? So I'm like, bro. Not even in your wildest dreams, because I seen him run, right? He's quick off the start, but he has no pace. so I'm like, yo, there's no way on earth you could even dream of running faster than me.
Hilarious.
The man's, all right, let's do it. Hilarious. So it was me, him, and Socks, right?
Shout out Socks. Big up yourself.
So this guy now, we're running a 40 meter because he didn't want to go any further. 40, that's it. So I'm like, okay, no, I can beat you anywhere. It don't matter. On your marks. Set. The man took off, bro. Took off. But because I'm like, yo, I'm faster than him anyways. So I still ran. And he beat me by a nose. And I'm like, yo, let's run over again.
Can I tell my version now?
This is like 15 years ago?
Can I tell my version?
I can never get a rerun of this guy.
Can I tell my version though?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so Chris Strikes, and for all the viewers out here, please, you guys gonna love this. Let me talk about it. So we're playing soccer. If go like him big, Linky, only thing he can do is score and draw penalties. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, because it's true.
Him run come over with him big self. I'm just, I don't even know soccer well, but just come and put him to sleep. But just go like me and just change my pace and run left him. Push it past him.
Oh, when?
Well, I don't remember speaking, man. So I did that, right? So he must say, oh, you'll get lucky, blah, blah, but you're not even quick. And I say, yo, I mean, we're not even quick. Hence why the race coming in. That's so it's leading to the race. Someone said, big guy, you're not quick, bro. me know me quick over a certain period of time. So over a certain distance, I mean, me know feel strength and feel weakness. So I say, yo, I say, all right, then come in. The whole stadium pack was indoor. Everybody in there, pack. Big guy, I go like if they are Olympics.
I was warming up too.
Well, man. You know, but talk, no, man. You spoke. You give me the sit at the table, leave and make a talk. Big guy in our after sex shorts or the yasso. And
after sex shorts.
He has on his tights under the shorts, you know. So you have him tights the yasso, and him after sex shorts the yasso, and he might give you a pee nearly for warm up. And I'm so weird. Is this Olympics? So anyway, they don't suck same warriors cause me no far away. I say, all right. But what happened is that now I have a quick start. So as the gun goes up, pow! Before it even come out, pow! My gun. It's like
false start.
Exactly. Thank you.
But I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Thank you.
You are gonna be the second person to say that. Cause the entire stadium says a clean start as a big guy get beat.
No, because they wanted me to get beat. That's
No. Everybody in the stadium?
Yeah.
No. So when everybody's like, oh my God, Linky, you really run a big guy. Let's do it again. Mr. When? Impossible.
Because he knows. Chris, you've seen me run.
You got beat.
There's no way on this earth.
I've seen you run, but I haven't seen Linky run. So
Trust me.
Listen,
it's not much faster than when he's walking.
Chris Strikes.
Not much faster when he's walking.
Chris Strikes, listen to me. I am quick over short distances. Him? This is big guy. You see it both. It is start, get up. The first 20 meter head still down like an Olympics in there. So the whole of him head down like if I drive and me up in that chest. I say, shit, Linky, God. If I go 50 meter, him beat me. But me know what means.
But this is the thing, Chris.
So that's Chris,
even with the him false starting, I
didn't false start, bro. I didn't false start. Stop spreading propaganda. That was like 13 years ago.
To be honest, if we were to go out, who crossed the finish line first, it was him. But he false started.
Jesus Christ.
And I could never, this is like 15 years ago, I could never get the guy to run again.
So how come you don't want to race him again?
Because he
knows. I don't run against losers, bro. Next. Give me somebody else to run with.
You ready to race me?
Yeah, of course.
No.
I did 4 surgeries, though.
yeah, excuses now.
No,
you know Strikes can play ball, eh?
Who?
Strikes can play. He's a good goalie, too.
Oh, you're a goalkeeper?
Yeah.
Oh, that means I would have made you cry then.
And actually, I'm advocating for the people who know the pickup runs that Damion used to do at Wild Water Kingdom, Water World, whatever it's called nowadays.
What is it called?
I think they changed the name to like Water World.
You guys want to do something this winter?
But like,
you doing something this winter?
Pickup football.
I could, but people don't want to pay though. That's our community.
People pay for community. Football.
Linky. So
what used to happen? I remember I used to complain.
So what used to happen was, so this is because I'm responsible for it, right? Mm-hmm. So what used to happen was, I'd pay my money. Yeah, you have to prepay.
Yeah.
So I'd pay.
I remember.
Let's say it cost $10, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now you have to try to recoup your money. Mm-hmm. And all I was charging guys was like what, $10.
$10. That's $10. Yeah.
And guys used to come and play and hide to leave. I'm like, bro, are you guys serious? At the end of the night, I'm not even making my quota, bro. You're doing that four times in a row? Trust me, it adds up.
Yeah.
And that was hurtful to me, bro. So I stopped.
Those were the good old days.
Those were good runs, though. But man, them need to pay your $10.
That's our community, man.
So Chris Strikes used to...
Yeah. Chris Strikes used to be there.
Regular.
Well, I don't know about the coming part, but I know he used to play at the soccer field. They say usually come regular, I know.
Pause.
I used to arrive and participate regularly.
Chris Strikes, you came. That's okay. Like, what's wrong with this guy?
My gosh!
What's wrong with this guy? Anyways.
My gosh!
So what, Chris Strikes, based on what you're saying about the soccer, right? With Canada and how they're not getting paid and all that, it brings to mind a question that I want to ask. Do you think there's a gender pay gap?
Within
just over
within soccer?
Just overall soccer sports, just overall.
Of course,
there's absolutely a gender gap. Now the gap is closing, but I think it still has a ways to go. Specifically as it comes to sports and soccer, the gender pay gap is there. However, it's more complicated when it comes to sports because the argument is based on one player is doing the same thing as another player. But the thing is that there's much more money in the men's game than there is the women's game. And that has to do with advertisers, sponsorship, and all that stuff. So
TV rights.
So and TV rights and whatnot. So it becomes a little bit more complicated there, and I don't know enough of the details to be able to speak to that. But I do know over the last two Women's World Cup, like between last one in France and this one in Australia and New Zealand, like it seems to have picked up immensely in popularity, and the games have seemed to have gotten much more exciting. It seems like the stadiums are more full. There's more TV attention around it, which is much more important as well too when it comes to pay and sponsorship and whatnot.
Right.
And I see, like, even just from social media, and this extends beyond the Women's World Cup. This extends to the women's soccer in general. So like the Women's English Premier League, the Women's Spanish League, and French League. What I've been seeing over the last few years is much more even social media attention and social media campaigns, which has been really exciting to see the women's game grow like that. So I think, the gap is definitely closing, but still has a long way to go. But I think they'll get there at some point in time, and not too long away. 5 to 10 years, I think they'll get there.
Right. What do you think, Linky?
Man said 5 to 10 years, not too long.
I mean, like within our lifetime, because you have to put it in consideration like this, right? Like in the women's game, like look how Messi just went to Miami, and that's like another big topic in the last week. Messi went to Miami, is just completely mashing up the place. Like Messi is contributing to the economy of Florida. You know what I mean? The women's game doesn't have that kind of player just yet. So like build them up more and more and more, and you'll get that kind of player.
They had Mia Hamm one time, who was pretty good. And what's the Brazilian lady?
Marta. But unfortunately, Marta and Mia Hamm, they as incredible as they were, and you're right about them, and even the U.S. goalkeeper, Hope Solo, she's a superstar as well too. You can even say Christine St. Clair
and
Rapinoe. Those women are like they came slightly too early in terms of like the growth of women's soccer and like social media and sponsorship and the increase of money around the women's game in general. It's slightly too early. Now they're pioneers that helped to get the game to where it is.
Like Alisa Leslie in the basketball.
Exactly. It's like slightly too early before all this big money. You know what I mean?
Right.
I personally think that I don't know if you saw Malika Andrews and Draymond Green. Draymond Green made a comment on the shop.
Yeah.
You saw it? Yeah, and you heard what Malika Andrews said?
I seen it, but what did she say?
She was basically she was saying that Draymond Green should shut his mouth.
Okay.
And listen to what the women want.
Who are actually involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's very tricky because, so to answer the question that I asked, do I think there's a gender pay gap? I think there is a gender pay gap. It's not a matter of thought. It's a reality. But the way people present it, it's just so weird because what the narrative is that women are doing the exact same things as men but getting less money, which is not true, right? And as if we take it to sports, for example, as Chris just mentioned, soccer doesn't have women's soccer doesn't generate the kind of income that
you're
men's
doing the
soccer,
same thing,
but they don't generate the kind of income that men's different. Soccer do.
Yeah.
And going back to basketball, it's the same thing. And not only are they not generating income, they won't even take suggestions as to what might generate income. What Draymond Green is trying to tell them is that, listen, some of the things that you guys are doing, right? People don't, like, bro, I don't want to go to a WNBA game and watch people just shoot jump shots and, yawn, boring. I want people to be jumping and dunking over people and doing all that crazy stuff. They can't do it in the 10-foot hoop. They just can't. So what Draymond's trying to say is that maybe try to do things that will make the game exciting, like maybe move the 3-point line a little bit closer, bring the rim down a little bit, 9.5. You can have some people jumping and doing some stuff. People will want to see that. That's what he's saying. So he's not approaching it from an anti-feminist perspective. He's approaching it from, that's what I would want to see as a spectator. It's what I'm saying, because that's what I think brings fans to the seats in the NBA. And bringing fans to the seats, that's what's going to get you money. And then now, as opposed to having, I think their average pay for the WNBA is like $200,000. Well, the average pay for the
It was.
I think that's what it is now. 200,000 and the NBA is $6 million.
For the what do I call it now? Like a all-star player, I think it's more. I think it's 1 million.
No, but I'm talking average. Like
league average.
so the average, so the whole league, like people are getting $20,000 per year. You know what I'm saying? So the average is 200,000, and if you don't get people in the seats and get TV rights and all these things, and people buying your jerseys, you're not going to get more money. But the narrative that's being pushed is that, oh, look at us, we're doing the exact same thing, and we're getting this less. That's false. And that's what I think is irking people. You're not doing the exact same job. Yes, there's a gender pay gap, but you're not doing the same things. For example, there's no such, in North America I'm talking about, not all over the world, in North America, there's no such thing as a woman doing the exact same thing as what a man's doing with the exact same benefits and getting less money. That's not happening. There's no evidence of that anywhere. You don't have a female lawyer who's just as good as a male lawyer in a firm with the exact same firm getting less money. There's no evidence of that. And this is what people are saying.
Is there evidence of that in the corporate world? Now, I don't work in the
Nope,
corporate world,
there's
but
none.
That's the argument that I'm often hearing.
But she's not doing. You see, men get paid more in general. So if you go on average, right? So you could. I have to admit that there's a gender pay gap because the way they do things is by averages. No, well, average gives you an idea, but what tells the story is the extremes. So if you go to the highest paid person, you'll probably find that it's a man, right? But then you also, if you go deeper,
Take a sip.
if you go deeper, you'll see that, let's say there are 20 criteria for you to be paid $200,000 a year. The man is probably ticking all 20. Let's say you take the woman CEO. She's not doing all 20 because let's say the man has to stay back 20 hours a day. The man has to do certain kind of things. Whatever the criteria for you to work crazy hard and have all these clients and all that, the woman's not going to meet all those criteria. She's not going to work 20 hours because she probably has a kid at home. She has to go into a husband to go cook or whatever it is. And that's stopping a woman from earning as much as a man, which is why you have the male CEO who's going to make way more money than the woman because he's putting in way more hours. He's sacrificing way more. And that's what's happening. If you have a woman who's doing the exact same thing, she's going to get the exact same money.
So you're using the example of a CEO and a lawyer, a top of the game lawyer. So what
I'm
about,
using
like,
two CEOs.
Oh, well, I mean, like in terms of position, like what about like in middle management, for example?
There's no evidence to support the claim that women are getting less money for the same job. There's no evidence, and I've looked, I've scoured, I can't see any.
I have evidence.
What evidence?
White hand, but we'll leave that for another day.
Lady hand,
Lady hand, yeah.
Girl hand.
That's the name. That's the name.
No. What that is just a female instinct jumping out. Oh, you're talking bad about females. Oh, I have to say something. No. That's all it is.
You see, for me, I support a woman getting what she deserves.
No. Don't get me wrong.
You know what I mean?
I'm not saying I don't support it. Don't get me wrong.
But I could draw even this a comparison with Doris Burke. Mm-hmm. You know Doris Burke?
Yes.
She's been
the analyst, NBA right? analyst.
Yeah. You don't know that? No, yeah.
She used to be a sideline reporter, and she's now an analyst.
Yeah, yes. She's been in the game for quite a while, like years since I watched basketball. Mm-hmm. And I don't think she and Mike Breen makes the same money.
But she don't do the same job as Mike Breen.
Yes, she does.
No, she don't.
Yes, she does.
No, she don't.
She calls game.
First of all, Doris Burke was a sideline reporter.
Yes.
Right? Then she started doing analysis.
She been calling games too.
But she's not a voice.
What do you mean she's not a voice? She's a voice for the ladies.
Let me explain what I mean.
Okay, go ahead.
Mike Breen, right, is one of the voices of the NBA. Mm-hmm. Like, he's one of those staples. Mm-hmm. You had Marv Albert, Mike Breen, right? Those guys are guys who, ever since you've been watching the game 20 years ago, those guys are calling games. You have guys like Hubie
Brown.
Brown, who they'll be an analyst, right? So Mike Breen or Mark Robert will be calling the game. Hubie will be there, dissecting what's going on. Doris, right? She's just coming to her own because she just started doing this maybe 3 years ago.
No.
Or 4 years ago. No, I mean the actual voice.
Game?
Yes.
Okay.
3-4 years ago. Before that, she was a sideline reporter, right? Now, the argument that you could make is that could she have been calling games before? Maybe that's sexism, but she wasn't doing the same job. The job she was doing was sideline reporter, and that's of less importance than calling the game because
so she's calling the game now.
Now moving up to calling the game, but she's not calling the game. She's an analyst. She calls the game 1 or 2 times on Yes Network. On NBA TV, on TNT, she does not call games. No, she's an analyst. She's a person who's sitting beside Mike Breen. So Mike Breen is calling the game and she's analyzing the game.
So let me ask you a question. She calls college game.
But I'm talking about NBA though. She calls NBA games, but it's on lower networks.
Yes,
like the Brooklyn Nets.
All right,
TV.
so the fact that she's calling game on a lower network, she also called the college game. She does a sideline reporting. She does the analysis on the thing. With all that compiled, and Mike Breen, no disrespect to Mike Breen, or even Jeff Van Gundy is even a game caller, as an analyst as well.
Yes,
does that all that job that she's doing, she still should be getting?
But it's not because she's a woman why she's getting paid less.
Why?
It's because she's what she's doing.
But she's doing more than
she's
Mike
not
Breen.
Mike Breen. But she's not Mike Breen. But she's not Mike Breen though. She's not Mike Breen. She has to pay her dues.
To equate the argument, it's like LeBron and like anybody else in the league, right? LeBron is probably making the most money in the league.
No, he's not.
Okay.
This guy's making the most money now. Jaylen Brown. Okay,
well,
$60 million a year.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Just now. But basically, what I'm trying to say is
I think Curry's making
the value an individual brings to that position, right? It's like it sounds like there's an inequality in the value that is brought,
right?
Because that's what a lot of payment, especially in sports and entertainment, is about. It's about the value that you bring to a project, right? And like that when we do get into the gender pay gap conversation, it's that topic of value is often ignored. And like I said with the Messi example, right? Messi literally is changing the economy of Florida. Like, you know what I mean? Like nobody can bring that value, even in the men's game. Like really and truly, only maybe Cristiano Ronaldo and Mbappe at this point in time are the only two males, never mind like who in the female game is that. If you just look at males, you have 3 people in the millions and maybe tens or hundreds of millions of people that play football around the world. You have 3 people that can change the economy of where they go and play football. You know what I mean? So it's about the value that you bring to the position that you're doing.
And what they're doing, they're taking that and they're turning it into a gender thing. Oh, Doris Burke is not getting as much money because she's Doris Burke and she's a woman. No, it's because Doris Burke doesn't bring, and thank you for that, it doesn't bring as much value to the whole thing. It has nothing to do with her being a woman.
You have to look on the grassroots, brother.
What's the grassroots?
The grassroots is, and I want you to be very honest and fair.
Of course.
You see you see a Damion and you see a Marsha. No, female. Men are female. Yes. A Damion and a Marsha, right? Both doing their thing.
Right.
What has been proven over the years is that men has been mainly put up there first before they give the woman that spotlight to shine.
Yes. So male patriarchy is real. So I'm saying nobody's denying that.
And I think that's where the females are coming from.
Right, but you see, your argument has to be more solid than that. And I'm going to tell you. So
please nobody get too.
No, man, I'm just trying to show. So obviously, and so earlier I said to you, if Doris Burke was to make the argument that, listen, 10 years ago I could have had an opportunity to be sitting and calling games as opposed to leaving me on the sidelines, that's a fair argument. Because why she was good enough to do that, but women weren't doing that at that point. So I'm saying it's just recently that things started getting, ESPN is getting real woke and they're trying to push certain things. So that argument is a solid argument. I don't know why ESPN did that or whomever did that, didn't give her a chance. But to say now that she is getting less money than Mike Breen and she should be getting as much because she's doing more than he does, it doesn't make much sense because Mike Breen brings more value to calling games than Doris Burke does. And he's better at it, right? So he should be getting paid more. So I don't think... So the argument is, historically, women have been mistreated. Yes, 100%. But now, is it the case where the gender pay gap is because women are women and men are men? No. It's because women are getting paid less because they're doing less for the most part.
You know the funny thing about
they're not doing the exact same thing and getting less money.
If Mike Breen was doing what Doris Burke was doing, the sideline, the calling the games, and the analyzing and the analyzing shit, he would be getting more, you know. He wouldn't be getting what Doris
But Mike
Burke
Breen
was
wouldn't...
getting.
See, the thing is with value is that Mike Breen doesn't have to do all that.
But you have to understand this.
Because
Mike Breen wasn't Mike Breen before he's Mike Breen. If you're over, what I say.
But you just said it. Why do I have to over?
So
you basically just
somebody
said it.
basically look at Mike Breen and say, yo, we give you a chance.
No, Mike Breen got good.
But that's what I'm saying. But in order for him to get good, somebody had to give him a chance.
But they gave Doris Burke a chance.
No, they gave
and
her
now she's calling games.
They gave her a chance 15 years later. So my point that I'm trying to make is this. The fact that somebody look on Mike Breen at a tender age and say, yo, go call the game and do your thing. He wasn't that great. The reason why he's great because he was put in that position.
The man had talent.
He was given that opportunity to say do it. So I'm saying if a woman can get that same opportunity there,
they do.
I don't see that, brother.
Really and truly, Malika Andrews should not be in ESPN. No. She should be sent home. Really and truly, because she talks beer crap all the time.
I agree with you.
But I'm trying to show you is that she's getting an opportunity to do her thing because she's doing a good job. You see what I'm saying? Like, she's done so many things. They could have let her go for that. She said some crazy stuff.
Yep.
But they're saying, you know what, you're good, so we're gonna keep you. I think that's okay, cool. They're giving her a shot. There's nothing wrong with that.
You want to give her a shot?
I mean,
she's a cutie. She's a cutie patootie.
No comment.
She's a cutie patootie.
No comment.
You don't want to get in trouble?
I actually don't even know who we're talking about because I don't know all the analysts on ESPN's names.
Malika Andrews. She's like a mixed curly hair,
and she kind of had like puffy hair.
And
sometimes she come on.
She's
first
very
take.
feminist.
She come on first take sometimes.
Yes. Well, she come on first take. I don't know, but she's on first take. Yes.
Oh, okay. She doesn't really come on first take. I don't know. If
she's been on first take before, and Stephen A. said, "Don't talk to me like that on my own show.
Yeah.
Don't do it."
I think I know what we're talking about.
Yeah, she was trying to argue. When Ime got fired from Boston, she's trying to say that the woman is the person who's
basically what she had tried. So the woman name need to come out. That's what she had tried.
Yeah, and Stephen A. was like, bro, don't do this.
She had tried to put words in Stephen A. mouth, but Stephen A. wasn't having.
He wasn't having anything in his mouth.
At all.
Yeah, he wasn't having anything.
All right, let's segue. Speaking of shot, Cardi B.
Oh my
decided
God.
to fling a mic.
When are these ghetto people gonna just learn, bro?
But I wanna say something too in that regard.
Jesus.
People, that's why I personally believe when you see something on the social media, don't take it and run with it. All right. So that happened a couple of days ago. Today, I don't know if you saw this, bro. We're not on social media, but I saw this today on the same exact show. Cardi B was telling the fans to wet me up. I'm hot. Wet me up. Squirt this, excuse my French, squirt this thing on my ass.
Why squirt French?
I'm gonna say something else. Wet me up this, squirt this shit on my and all these
she was
things.
calling for people to throw water on
No,
her.
but people, they were actually doing it. Girls was squirting and she was shaking her ass and
she didn't throw no mics.
But what I'm saying is, again, when you see things on social media, you can't really take everything and put it.
But what do you mean? But what do you mean though? What do you mean though?
Because watch this now. The way the first video that we saw, it seemed like she was just performing and somebody just threw the water on her, which is disrespectful, right?
Yeah. Right.
But yet still you're seeing a other video of her.
Where she's asking people to throw water.
Yeah, to wet her up.
So why did she throw the mic at that one person though?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what
really ice in it or something.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know what really are going on behind that story.
Or was it a blue drink? Because he's blood. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Like, don't throw no hypnotic on me.
I'm just saying. Like these people, they get triggered for the smallest things. Mm-hmm. That's really the point I'm trying to make.
You know the messed up thing is though, bro. She hit the wrong person.
I think she should be arrested. I think she should be arrested. And if she was arrested for the, because she's done like crazy things before, and she was
like you're happy
nothing
for Cardi, bro.
No, I'm just
like it's not like like
I don't like ghetto people, fam. I don't like people who act like they're super tough and super like thuggish and like, what are you doing? You're a performer. You're not a gangster. You're a performer. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why I can't stand Jim Jones either. Like, he's just always so super masculine and super like, yo, you can't talk to me. Like, what are you doing?
Jim Jones
Relax.
getting shots for no reason.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy for no reason, yo.
Because you know why I said Jim Jones? You know why I said Jim Jones? Because he's going at it with Pusha T, right?
Right now.
Right, and just the way he this bravado that he carries himself with, and the reason why I made the connection is because Jim Jones. I'm sorry, brother, but the connection was made because you're blood. Also, he claims blood. Cardi B claims blood.
So what's wrong with that?
You're not a gangster. You're a performer.
He's a gangster, bro.
You see that they just caught who did they catch with a gun today?
Oh, today?
The Clippers guy.
Oh,
It's the same thing. Like you do what, like you're a sportsman, you're a basketball player. Why are you traveling around with a illegal firearm for? What are you doing? I don't get it. Ja Morant, it's the same thing. Like he's about to get more suspension.
why?
Because I think they're gonna find him guilty with the fight that he had with the 17-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're coming
It's
to a
something like
conclusion with that.
it's just the whole thing of I'm a gangster. Like you're not a gangster. You're a basketball player. The hours that you're spending on the court, you could never be chilling on the block because you're practicing basketball.
So what I know Chris is gonna give his 3 cents, but like I speak, I want to get you. Cause you seem very heated. What do you? Make sure stay far. What do you think about Cobra situation?
Oh my God, Chris, go ahead. Go ahead.
What is the situation? I don't think.
Go ahead.
Mad Cobra, you know Mad Cobra, right?
Yeah.
Netflix, time to
Mad Cobra,
that's all.
they did a traffic stop, as they said,
Yeah.
and
In
eventually
South Carolina.
and eventually end up searching the car, the vehicle that he was in,
Yeah.
and found 2 keys and a gun,
and a 9mm.
and he's looking at 30 years right now. The bail bond was set about
The
100.
minimum is 25.
Ouch. When did that happen?
Last week.
Ouch.
About a week ago.
I mean, I don't know what he's doing with that in his trunk. I mean, is the show money not good anymore? Like I don't know why he has that in his trunk. But yeah, no, that's.
And they said in the report it was said that he was speeding. But I find it somewhat tricky because if you're speeding and they stop you for speeding, they should give you a speeding ticket and send you about your way.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Not
able
in
to
the
search.
States.
Yeah.
In the States, it's different. What? If you're smoking a spliff, they're going to say they have probable cause and they're going to search your car.
Yeah, and the thing that's tricky in the States is every state has such different laws.
yeah,
so
yeah,
like I don't know what the
And
what
it's
the-
South Carolina.
Yeah, I don't know what the laws are in South Carolina, but they're historically not favorable to black people.
Apparently, for 2 grams of cocaine, you get 3 years. And this man had 2,000 grams.
Yikes. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why he has that on him.
You don't know why? I know.
I mean, like, no, just in terms of like.
Well, Chris, he's transporting it.
Yeah, no,
From point A to B. So from point A, he's probably
I
paying
know, but,
$10.
like, why
for
does
B's going to pay
he,
$15.
There comes a point in time where with the main breadwinner of a community, of a family, of a community, you can't have that person being caught up with these types of things. Somebody else is supposed to be driving that car. Somebody else is supposed to be holding that gun. Somebody else is supposed to be holding that bag. You know what I mean? It's like, why is it the breadwinner of a community
Because
or
they're
of a
dumb.
group?
They want to have this
Like-
cred, the street cred. It's
And
important
that's
to them.
like
You want to be able
I
to
don't-
say in a song that, listen,
I
when
don't
I'm
think
driving
it's
on the
a-
road
no.
and I'm at my two key and my
No,
machine,
no,
the boy
stop
can't
this.
talk to me.
Stop
And
this.
blah,
That's
he wants to be doing songs like that
someone that's young,
and have
bro.
and
No.
say it with conviction because he's actually done it.
No.
That's
Yeah.
bro. That's what.
No,
and
true,
and on
no.
top of that, Linky won't say anything to this because he has to go back to where you from again? The Gaza Strip? Where you?
Waterford.
I'm not from there. I don't care. Cobra is from Brayton.
Yeah,
So
Fort
Waterford. So
Yeah, but the reality of it is
The
that
reality is
I
he's
don't think the DJ was trying to do that. It's just that I make a flex and somebody bust on him.
But
and
why?
get
But
bust.
the question Chris has is why do you got to do it, bro?
Sometimes you have to do it.
The reason why, Chris, let me answer your question. Linky's beating around the bush.
I'm not being able. Let me ask you
The
this.
reason why you got to do it is
With
because
El
in this
Chapo.
community,
El Chapo.
El Chapo is not doing that. In this
He,
community,
wait, what are you talking about?
Stop.
What are you talking about?
Can you sit back
Did you
and
watch
see
the
Chris?
movie?
Can I
No,
see Chris,
don't
though?
get eaten right
Can
now.
I see Chris?
El Chapo's getting bare conspiracy charges, which means he's not really doing that.
Not doing none of that, bro.
No. Did you watch the El Chapo from the beginning?
I don't need to watch it. El Chapo is not
So
doing
no
that.
talk then.
What I'm
If
saying-
you don't even no talk.
Okay,
He
can I
was
say this?
one That was taking
Can I say
all
this?
the risk.
Can I say this though?
And even the show.
My youth, can I say this?
Hold up, huh?
All right.
Even with Denzel Washington, that movie that he did,
Frank Lucas.
Lucas.
Or American Gangster.
Yeah. He took all the risk. He did all what he had to do, and then
That's smuggling though. That's different. He went to where was it? It wasn't Vietnam.
But,
Was it Vietnam?
even still, Linky,
Yeah.
you're talking about actual gangsters. You're not talking about somebody that's like has a basketball career as well too. Or
But
has a-
no.
But Chris,
not the basketball.
but Chris, even then,
Hell
Frank
no.
Lucas went to Vietnam to get 5 million keys. That's a different ball game. The man's not traveling with 2 keys in his pocket.
But
Exactly.
that's what I like.
Exactly.
So 5 million, how much years if I get?
No, but
That's
what
a
I'm
higher
saying,
risk,
what I'm saying is he's taking care of his own business to make sure that he has an empire back home.
So how you know
I
that's
could get
what
it,
Cobra is doing?
but that's the point I was trying to make. Chris, the reason why he's doing it is because in Brayton, the guy
No, he
is,
doesn't live in Brighton anymore, bro.
but he's a don over there.
No, he's not. Man, done in Brighton long
Listen, what these guys do, what these guys
Yo,
do.
man, make YouTube black with a false.
You know why he doesn't want me to touch it? He doesn't want me to touch it.
Yo,
why don't you want me to
listen,
touch
people.
it?
No, touch it.
Why don't you want me to touch it?
Touch
though?
it. But what I'm saying is that Maya make YouTube black here for saying false things, bro. Go ahead, listen. I'm listening.
Oh, they're gonna lock me up. You don't gotta get involved. Okay, so this is my disclaimer. I don't know anything about any performer. I don't know anything about nothing personal. I don't have evidence of any of this. What I do know in general, though, is that what a lot of people do, they come here, they hustle, they send money back home for people to buy guns. They do that. So a lot of the neighborhoods, these guys, they need guns, they need bullets, they need all that, and these guys provide that for them. So when they go back home, they're the big man in the community. I don't know if that's what Cobra is doing. I know he's from that community, and I know he was involved in some stuff before, but I don't know. Right? So for me to go on a limb, if I was to try to answer your question, he's pushing hard because, one, he's not hot. When was the last time he did a song?
True.
You see what I'm saying? So he's probably not getting that crazy income. Now, his royalties are supposed to be big because Flex was a big song. And the song with Thing was a big song too.
I think they did over Press Trigger, I mean, not Press People.
That was a big song because he was in a couple movies.
Yeah.
And he did a song with what's that?
Tony Braxton?
Tony Braxton. Those are big songs, so it should have some big royalties coming in, but it's probably not enough. You see what I'm saying? So he wants to do this trip because he probably done it 10, 12 times already, and it's soft. It's nothing. It's an easy thing. So 1, 2. So no, man, they don't have a gun, man. I'll go. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. So that's why he's doing it. And to be honest with you, bro, he's 55 years old.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Up there.
If let's say the judge is lenient
and
he gets 15 years.
Like,
really, bro?
Yeah, that's.
Is it worth it?
Exactly.
Really, is it worth it? Now, if Matt Cobra is doing this, just imagine how many other people are doing stuff, bro. Just imagine how many other people are doing stuff. Yeah. And this is what pisses me off because we complain about how the system has this, but there's a reason why that is. We're not behaving ourselves. Why you got to be doing that? And even if you're doing that, why can't you be smart about it? I'm not understanding.
That's a statement you should make. That's a statement you should lead with.
What do you mean?
If you're doing that, be smart about it.
Well, thank you for your suggestion, but I'll lead with what I want to lead. But it's really disappointing.
Yeah. The
It's
bigger
really,
issue is
really
not taking
disappointing.
accountability for the actions.
And that's what I've been saying.
And for what mostly turn out to be stupid actions.
I've been saying that since the first podcast that we made. Since day one.
I don't agree, but let's hear your topic that you have for this week.
My topic?
Let's hear your topic that you have for this week.
All right, so now we're in sports season. So we have the Women's World Cup going on. We have World Championships, track and field coming up. Right?
When is the World Championship? Next year?
Budapest. This year. In a
In
couple
August-
weeks.
in
Olympics
August.
is next year.
It's a couple weeks from now. August.
You're right.
I want to say August 20th. I can't remember. Somewhere around there. Right?
Shellen is running?
Shellen's running. Sharika's running.
Elaine?
Elaine's not running. She didn't make it.
Sharika's running though.
Sharika's running. She has the best time in the world. in
Yeah,
100,
she won
and the 200.
But she lost to Sharika the other day.
To who? Shaqiri?
Shakir, sorry.
Yeah, but you have to understand though. You see, the Americans, they do things differently. In track and field, it's a little bit weird because nowadays you have the Diamond League, right? So what coaches do, they train for different events. So some coaches, what they do, they train athletes so that every week they go on the circuit, they can run fast. Steve Francis, who's Sharika's coach, who's considered the best coach in the world. She coached Asafa, Elaine, Shelly-Ann, and now Sharika, right? And all those people have been successful, world records and all that, right? So he's considered the best coach in the world. What he trains people for is major events. So World Championship is coming up. Sharika lost that race because where she's at in her training is behind where Shakira is at.
Are you saying that Shakira will not be there?
100. Shakira is not even close to Sharika right now.
Okay.
When Budapest comes around and you see the 100 meters, watch what's going to happen. Remember I said that.
You want to bet on it?
100. Where you want to bet?
I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why? You going to say that and just leave it?
Yeah.
Where you want to bet?
I never said I want to bet. I was asking if you want to bet.
You asked me if I want to bet. What do you mean? You just said
I just
that.
want to know if you want to bet. I didn't say I was betting you.
So why are you asking me that?
I just want to know if you're a betting type of guy.
There's one more of your wasted words.
Another false start.
I know.
I just want to know.
So you don't want to bet?
I think about it.
Huh?
I'll think about it.
Nothing less than $100.
Okay.
So
Take
just
a
to be
sip.
clear, so you're gonna bet on Shaqiri, an American.
I said I'm taking a sip. Did I say? Why you put in words?
Okay. All right. No problem. Okay.
Okay.
So because the sports season is coming around, and the thought came to my mind because what happened was, I don't know if you guys know Caster Semenya. No. She's a runner from South Africa, and she had for years she was classified as a woman sprinter or runner, right?
Oh, that's the one they're trying to see.
So she's an intersex individual, and she looks more she presents more like a man, right? So she used to dominate the 800, like she used to give people like donkey lengths. Like she's running and people, she doesn't even seem that good, but she's just bigger and stronger than everybody else, right? And what happened
she was born a woman though.
She's born an intersex individual, but she was assigned a female at birth.
So what do you mean intersex? Was she born with a penis?
Penis and vagina. So she was born an intersex individual. She was assigned female at birth, but she obviously has a lot of male hormones, right? And that including testosterone. The testosterone levels are way higher than normal female, right? So for years, they had an issue with her running the 800 meters, giving people donkey lengths. And then people would complain. The more womanly woman would be like, we can't compete against her. She's killing us, right? And so what they'll do, IAAF, which is the organization that deals with athletics in the world, what they did was they made a rule that, let's say, women's testosterone level, because women and men they have both hormones, right? The reason why you're a female is because your androgen level is higher than your estrogen level is higher than your androgen level. Testosterone is an androgen, so thus your estrogen level is higher than your testosterone level. So that's what classifies you as a female. So males are on the opposite side. Testosterone is higher than estrogen.
I can listen, woman weak, a man stronger.
Well, I know. Hold on. So that's what's happening. So with the IAAF, what they did was let's say typical female, the testosterone level is, let's say, 2 whatever unit you want to use, milligrams or whatever, right? They're saying that, okay, on average, women are 2 milligrams of testosterone. If you go higher than 2, you can't run any event that's less than 400 meters. Or I think at the time it was 800 meters, which ruled out Caster Semenya. Right, so they brought in a weird little rule to kind of like. Basically, so her testosterone level, was like 6.
Yeah.
So she can't run
Basically
800 meters. So she started running 1500, and she sucked. Everybody started slapping her left, right, and center. Then she started running 5,000 meters, slapped her. So she challenged the ruling in court, and she won. Right, but I don't know if they're going to reinstate, because now what? Hold on. Sorry. Let me back up a little bit. So even before that, what IAAF did, especially for this World Championship, they made it so that zero. If your testosterone level is above 2, let's say, you can't compete in any events at all.
Wow.
So they made it even more. So people like, because remember, there's a girl, Wambui. She's from Kenya. She looks like a man. There's another girl, I forget her name. She's from Namibia. There's a young girl. She's like 17 last Olympic. She slapped Sherika Jackson, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Mboma. Her name is Mboma. She's from, I want to say, Namibia.
So she beat her what, in 100 or 200?
200.
Oh.
You never heard of her in your life. She just came boom on the circuit and just started running away from everybody. And so and she looks like a man. They're like, no. This. So what IAAF did. They said, this is destroying our sport. What we're going to do, we're going to say, if your testosterone levels are higher than a certain level, you can't compete. Period. Caster Semenya challenged it, and I think she won. Right? I don't know if they're going to reinstate her this World Championship. But I think in the future, they're thinking about doing some stuff. So my question now, based on all that is, do you think not only these intersex individuals should compete against normal females, or even those people transgendered? Say you used to be a man, and then you're a trans woman.
That's still a man still.
Do you think, identify. Do you think...
No, I am a man.
Do you think those...
But the identify thing.
Can I finish my question?
No, you hurt me right now, but identify.
I'm hurting you, Paul. Like,
yeah.
What does that have to do with
Yeah, I hurt my feelings, but identify.
Are you a trans woman?
No.
What do you have
So why you
what does that
hurt?
have to do with you?
No, but identify.
But can I finish?
Yes, my brother.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
before you finish, that girl, does she have a man or a woman? A relationship?
who, Semenya?
Yeah, from South Africa.
She's in a relationship with a woman.
With a woman, okay. So
Right.
does that make her a lesbian?
Yes,
Okay.
technically. So, well, she's considered a female.
Right.
So, and you know, homo means same. So homosexual relationship between females is called lesbianism. I'm just saying.
All right, go ahead.
Anyways, so do you think a trans woman should be competing against normal women?
Hell no.
So trans or intersex?
Well,
Because
you can do
that's
intersex.
that's two
I
different
know, no. But I said intersex first.
Yeah.
Do you think not only do you think that should happen, or do you think a trans woman should be competing against normal? So both.
Yeah. So what I'm curious about is how the sporting body, how they came up with the metric that they did, like whatever the number is that you can't exceed past this much testosterone. How did they come up with that? Like, did they go with the breadth of cisgender women?
They've done tests.
Yeah.
So they've done tests, and they know the normal testosterone, because this is how they can
across
detect
multiple cultures.
Yeah,
and backgrounds,
and this is how they can
DNA and
detect. Yeah,
stuff.
this is how they can detect PEDs also.
Oh, okay.
Because if you as a woman, and a lot of Russians used to do this, and Belarusians used to do, they have a lot of crazy records that can't be broken because those people are on crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And they ran like 2 seconds in 100 meter, and nobody can break it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the 100 meter is FloJo. She's also on some stuff, but that's a different ball game. But the point is, they've done tests. They know exactly what a normal person, male and female, should be exhibiting.
Yeah. You know what's and I want to wrap my head around this, but what's a really more interesting like topic about all of this is we're just talking about, like, you know, the gender pay gap and women's sports versus men's sports. This affects only women's sports. Like, you know what I mean? Like we don't question
because a trans man could never even play.
No, I know, but like it's just I know, but like just the way that this is like it's
Can
like
you imagine?
Yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
like,
I want to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
I really feel for women and people who identify as women. I really feel for them in the sporting world because there's so much confusion as to that, and I don't think we know what the answer is, because it's like, so, you know, the intersex versus transgender. Like, I think I think there's an argument to be made for the intersex to compete, but then there's a thing about the transgendered women, and then now it's about like, oh well, when did they get on hormone blockers? Like, did they get on hormone blockers like earlier in life or later in life? So there's just so much confusion around it, and I, like, me personally, at this point in time, like, I don't really know if I just like, give my uneducated answer and opinion on it. I think intersex women should be able to compete in women's sports. Transgender women, that's a whole different conversation that I don't really understand. But like, I understand like there's that example in the NCAA swimming with
Leah.
Yeah, with that swimmer. He was
Leah
like
Thomas.
Yeah. Leah Thomas was like 200th in the world before their transition when they were competing on the men's side. They were
right.
like they were very average and maybe even slightly below average. Who knows, right? But they were basically like 200th in the world, whatever, not making any noises in the men's swimming competition. But then when they transitioned and went into the female competition, not only they're winning, but again, like you're saying, like just slapping everybody, right? And so the question is that fair for women who have?
And she's like 6'4", like
for cisgendered women.
Yeah,
it's like, is that fair? Is that fair for cisgendered women who have spent their whole life and trained and like that person took a scholarship spot or a professional contract spot from somebody who's been training their whole life? Is that fair? That's a very big argument, and I would tend to side on like, no, that's not fair. But then now when you're talking about intersex, because that's something that I never thought about or considered before in terms of like how their chemical balance is much more
right
above average. You know what I mean? So like,
yes.
And that's more complicated because that's like somebody who would identify as female since birth.
Well,
and
identify as a woman.
Identify as a woman since birth. You're right. So assigned female, but identify as a woman since birth, and I don't know. That's really tricky, man. That's complicated.
Linky, what do you think?
Hell no! Like that should even be a conversation, bro. Hell to the no! Like there's no way a transgender woman, right?
A trans woman.
A trans woman should bro. Like no, like
but
no.
Also, what about intersex?
All right, so that's a one different thing now. Where a serious conversation I forgot this, so because as big guys said, they were born with a VJJ and a
penis and
yeah. So I would just want to know what made the doctor or who made that decision to say you're gonna say you're a woman.
I guess it's the one that's more pronounced, because some you could have a.
Have you ever seen one before? Private parts.
What? Of an intersex individual?
Yeah.
No, never. Well, in pictures, yeah, I have.
That's what I mean, bro. Like, what do you think?
I'm clarifying.
Yes,
I've seen one of pictures.
That's what I want to know, bro.
Yes, you can have some that. So you have a deformed penis, like it doesn't really. You can see it looks like a penis, but not really, and then more pronounced vagina. So I think the doctors are like, okay, this person is probably trying to more be a female than a male, so we're gonna snip the penis, and we're gonna, as a matter of fact, the clitoris and the penis resembles,
Yes.
So it's not like you can tell that at some point in the pregnancy, one just kind of formed into the other. You can tell.
Yes.
So for those, so Matt Walsh, for example,
Jesus Christ,
Matt Walsh will
to take a sip.
You're gonna be down out of coconut water.
I know. Matt Walsh, he did a documentary, What is a Woman, right? So he's one of the main proponents of the idea that intersex individual is just a person who has a deformity. Now that's a very controversial statement, but he has a very solid argument that if someone was born with 6 fingers, you don't say that they have 6 fingers. You say that's a deformity.
You mean 6 fingers on one hand?
On one hand. Well, yeah. On one hand. You don't say that person, it's a 6 fingers person. You say it's a person with a deformity, extra finger. He's saying the same thing goes for genitalia. If someone's born with 2 genitalia and one is a little bit deformed, it's a deformity. And it's just, it's not very cool, but it's just something that happens. And we should label it as such. Now, I'm not saying that. Matt Walsh said it. I don't want people coming after me because it's very controversial.
Do you agree with him, though?
Do I agree with him?
Cricket.
Yeah, cricket, because it's...
You agree or not?
This is why it's cricket.
You agree, yes or no? You don't need to go deep and reason and go in there like.
Don't remember. He's Mr. Deep.
No, you need to chill more.
But I can I explain?
No, I didn't ask for an explanation. Yes or no? Do you agree?
Okay, I don't know with explanation. I don't know if I agree. I'm agnostic when it comes to this.
All right, so I think we should segue into the next topic. What's the next topic right now? Because
But I didn't.
We are talking about like we reach agnostic now.
Because I'm on the fence. I'm not. Either way,
You're the
but my
fence.
answer.
Agnostic is not just religious term.
So okay. So this is the thing. For me, I don't think intersex individuals should be allowed to perform with so-called normal individuals, and I don't think definitely trans women should not be allowed to perform, because the criteria for someone getting an advantage, right? You have to look at that, and the reason why you're banned, if we were to use nandrolone or any kind of steroids, is because it boosts your testosterone level. Your testosterone level helps you to train harder, recover, blah blah blah. It makes you stronger, give you more muscular, right? So if your testosterone level is really high, you're gonna have a natural advantage. Now, and for intersex individuals like Caster Semenya, I've always felt uneasy when I was watching her just destroy these women. Like, it's almost like you have the best female 800-meter runner, and she's trying her hardest, and she's just like past her.
I used to watch it.
I always used to. I'm like, there's something uneasy about this, right? Now, I do get Chris's point. They're born that way. The doctor assigned her female, right? She's not taking extra testosterone. It's just being produced in her body. So it's a natural thing, which is why I think that's why she won the court case, because it's a very strong argument, right? But I think it's an advantage, and I think once you have an unfair advantage, because it's not because it's something new, doesn't mean that we can't tackle it. Do we know how to? I don't think we do properly, because I think we can have an intersex category. Yeah. And moreover, if you notice when people are running, they say men's 100-meter, women's 100-meter. Why do they do that? Because that's what's complicating the whole thing. Just say female 100-meter, male 100-meter.
I think that's what they meant in the beginning before.
Now they have to change it because the semantics is causing the problem. Because now you're saying,
have to change it?
Because now you're saying I identify as a man or identify as a woman, so I want to be in the woman's race. If you say this is the thing. If you say female 100 meters, it's gonna be harder for you to say identify as a female, because that doesn't happen.
You see, that's what I tell you from the get go. Like, when you allow these people to try to push certain narrative into this world, I don't feel like you don't want to accept it. Them not gonna stop until them do some foolishness.
But Linky,
because the fact that you're gonna tell me you're gonna change the female or the woman 100 or the men 100 because of what somebody come
you're changing the category.
Because what somebody's gonna come and tell the identifiers.
What is it gonna take off you to say female 100 meters?
No, but they're doing that because somebody said they're identifying it. That's the reason why they're doing it.
Right. So
which
now
is madness. But you're not a female. Argument done.
But they're not saying they're a female. They're saying they're a man or a woman. You see what I'm saying? They're saying they're a woman. So
you're not a man or a woman. If you come to me and say you identify as a woman, no, you're not. Argument done.
But you see, what I'm saying to you, and this is what I've been trying to say to you, why not?
I mean, why not? Because you're not.
Okay, and I'm asking you why.
Because you're not.
Because you don't have a vagina?
Yes.
Okay.
So
you think a vagina it defines a woman?
I mean, if it defines a woman.
But that's the whole point of genderism. This is why I'm trying to say for 10,000 hours, you have to understand the semantics people are using in 2023 in order for you. So you're stuck in 1960.
I'm stuck in 1860.
And that's going to help you.
It'll help me.
Okay. All right. Next
You know what's happening to black people in 1860? Don't say you're stuck in 1860.
Don't worry.
So
anyways,
for I won't allow these bloods as girl people put certain narrative on us.
Anyways,
I won't.
But Linky,
I won't.
Linky, I'll position it like this. There was a point in time where white people thought black people were not human beings, right? That conversation is not too far different from the conversations we're happening right now. You understand? Where the way you're saying, don't bother bringing no narrative and to change this and change that.
Right.
That's what white people were saying 100, 200, 300 years ago, right? They were saying the exact same thing as what you're saying now, right? And I think that's what a lot of people in the black community have to realize is that we're like a lot of people who disagree with this, we're disagreeing from not from a place of understanding, or we're disagreeing in the same way that racist white people and white supremacists would disagree that black people are 100% human beings with feelings, with emotions, because they used to never believe that about us, right? So we're in that same conversation, that same spirit of conversation, but with a different topic right now, right? So that's why you can't just be like, they're not a woman because they're not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like saying black people are not human beings because they're not.
No, that's madness, but that one different.
Yeah, but so what? But you're not trying to understand what Chris is saying to you.
No, what was what Chris I say?
The same narrative that you're talking about,
What?
right? The same narrative that sounds strange to you now is because it's new. It's a new thing, right? And I'm not saying to give in to people's claims about you, because you're you. Nobody can tell you who you are. But what's the problem with if someone says I identify as a woman, right? And they appear to you as a male, what's the issue? And they say, okay, fine, no problem. I don't care. Like once it's not affecting your life, what's the issue? Why are you so stubborn against it?
It's not a matter about the issue. This is where the problem is, brother. If
Right.
you say you identify as a woman and you look like a man, I mean, decide so I still want to call you him or he.
Right.
And you decide so you want to fight or be upset with me.
Right.
That's where the problem is.
Yes, because they're telling you what they want to be referred to
No,
as.
bro. That is
okay.
no. I will not do that.
Is your name Linky?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
That's what people call you.
Yes.
That's not you. You're not registered Linky.
Okay.
You want people.
So if somebody register a woman and then identifies as a woman, that's a very bad. That's a very bad comparison.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
If you come to me and say, "Big guy, this is what I want to be called. I want to be called Linky," right? And I don't call you Linky, right? Would you say I'm going against your wishes?
No.
You're not going against. What do you
No.
mean?
Because really, truly, I was born Dwayne Osborne.
No, you weren't.
Yes.
You were named Dwayne Osborne.
Yes. So if a man decides, as we say, giving a woman...
Dwayne, you were named Dwayne Osborne. You weren't born anything.
Born, and when I born, my mother named me Dwayne. Before my born, that was my name given to me.
You're still a name that was given to you.
Exactly.
You weren't born that way.
So you're telling me, all right, let's work with what you're saying. You
Okay.
decide you want to call me Linky.
Right.
I don't want to call me Dwayne.
Right.
So a man is a man. I'm not telling you, want to become called a woman. I'm
Right.
supposed to agree with that?
But no, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying you're supposed to do
I
anything.
don't agree
Can
with
I
it.
answer?
What is
Can
the
I answer?
problem if
Can
you
I
don't
answer?
agree with it?
Can I answer? I'm not saying you're supposed to do
So
anything.
what is the problem if I don't agree with it? Though?
I'm not saying you're supposed to do anything.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, how is it going to hurt you?
It not hurt me.
Okay. Remember when you first started calling me big guy? What did I say? I hate that name.
Yeah. No, I had to say it not a stick. That's
But
what you said.
hold on now. But you still call me that, right?
Yeah, I said not a stick.
So when it suits you, that's when you want to do it.
No, no have suit. That's a very
But
bad comparison.
But I told you I don't want to be called that.
That's a very bad comparison, bro.
How is that a bad
It's
comparison?
very bad.
It's a
Move on. Next
anyways,
topic.
I brought it up, so I think it's deep. I don't know what you guys think.
That's a fuckery.
No, it's deep.
That's totally
No, it's deep
fuckery.
because we need to figure this out. And one thing that I was gonna say is that I think we're gonna get to a point where we may need to divide. We may need to divide a lot of these, especially the individual sports. We may need to divide them in the way that fighting does, and divide them by weight classes. So in running, it won't be weight class, but it will be something where it's not just
Chris, take a
men and or men's and women's, or even not just males and females, but it might be a class like, I don't know, like 200 pounds or whatever the case may be.
What's the problem with saying male 100 meters, female 100 meters? What's the issue with that?
No, because
That eliminates all of that nonsense, you know.
No, but but then what do you do with regards to, again, transgender and intersex, especially intersex?
Transgender, you can't say you identify as a female. You can say you identify as a man or a woman, but you can't identify as a female. It's either a female or you're not.
Okay, so intersex then. What about the intersex? What do you
Intersex
do with
individuals?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. So the way I'll treat that is, if you were assigned female at birth, right? You're a female. That's fine. But now we have to deal with the advantage part of it. The same way we deal with steroids is the same way I'm going to deal with this. You have a natural advantage over someone else. So what they're saying now with the drugs is take this drug and it will bring you to the so-called normal level of females. And they're saying, no, I'm not taking that because I didn't inject anything in my body.
It's not her
natural.
fault.
Right. But that's the argument she's making. But that's how I deal with it. I think that's fair.
Well then, like, what's different from Shaq, right? Like how everybody said, like Shaq was like super dominant during his prime of the game, and like imagine like the average or even slightly above average NBA player being like, "Yo, Shaq's too big. We never seen this before." Like, nah, Shaq can't compete with men. He's different from men.
But Shaq doesn't have the complication of having intersex.
But he still would have an advantage though, right?
Yeah, but I'm not against the advantage because advantages are always going to be had. That's what discrimination is, and you discriminate all the time. That's just the nature of life. When we compete, the winners discriminate against the losers, and that's just how it is. But what I'm saying is, the advantage here in the intersex individual is an advantage of biology. So you have both male and female parts and hormones and all that in you, right? So if you're dominant from the male side, it's going to give you an advantage with the females. So that's complicated. So we have to deal with it in a complicated way. For Shaq, it's simple. Shaq is just a freak of nature. There's no special complication to it. It's just a freak of nature. Now you could call it a gift. That's okay. That's fine. But with the intersex individuals, it's not a gift. It's obvious issues. So we could deal with that issue, right? It's a little more complicated than the trans woman's issue, but it can't be dealt with. It can be. Like, you can deal with that issue, and the way the IAAF was dealing with it, I thought it was okay. Because I don't know why I couldn't explain it, but I just hated when she was winning. It just didn't seem right to me.
Maybe you're a hater.
Maybe I'm a hater, but this is what it is.
Chris, what's going on with the organic?
So, organic, something that is affecting me and many in my industry. AI as it relates to the writers' strike, the writers and actors' strike. So,
you're in your field.
In my field of film, film and television. So there's been a lot of really interesting points and conversations that I've seen over the last little bit. Like, you know, the basic question would be, is AI taking over our jobs? But I think even, so that's one element of it, but specific as it relates to the film and television industry, there's some really interesting opinions and commentary being given, because essentially to sort of boil down both issues is that the sticking point with both issues is the use of AI. The writers don't want AI to be used irresponsibly to essentially replace them, and the actors don't want the same, where AI would essentially replace them. Because right now what studios are asking for is for actors and especially background actors to come in, get scanned, and basically studios will just pay them a one-time fee type of thing with minimal residuals. Where, so let's say Linky, they scan your whole image and your whole likeness, and they can just use you over and over again in different scenes.
Right.
They can use you in a scene that you don't even agree with, right? If you watch the new season of Black Mirror, the first episode is actually very closely tied to what's going on right now. And so that's a big sticking point, because it's like, well, you're gonna essentially replace like human background actors with all these images, all these AI generated images of them, and you're not going to properly compensate them, and also too, like, we don't even know how our image is going to be used, type of thing, right? That's bullshit. Like, imagine using your image in some kind of film that you fully against, right? And have no control over. So that's a big thing that's going on in Hollywood right now. But one of the really interesting takes that I've been hearing is that part of the reasons, a big reason why studios want to do this is that studios are not making money. They're bleeding money left, right, and center. and especially streaming services are bleeding money left, right, and center. So and I don't know if you're aware, but streaming services, they don't release their statistics to see like how much money a movie or show is making for their streaming service. Like, has their subscription increased, has it decreased, how many people are watching it, how many people are watching only the first 10 minutes, how many people are watching it all the way through. So all these companies, they have these details down to the key. Like, so if you're on a Netflix show, if you pause to go to the bathroom on episode 2, they know that you paused at, like, I don't know, the 10-minute mark for 3 minutes and came back. They know all those statistics, right? And so one of the arguments is that actors and writers, for that matter, might be in a very sort of dangerous place of asking for those statistics to be released, because it could show that, or not show, but it could confirm that those streaming services are not making any money, which then their stock valuation goes down. And the only reason why a lot of these streaming services are allowed to or able to financially make all these shows is because their stock valuation is high, so they can get bank loans against the valuation of their stock, and they can make all these shows. They can make, Spider-Man 10 and like Black Mirror and all these things, right? And so they're like, if these streaming services release their statistics, that again, it's going to show that they're not making as much money or not making any money at all, like they're losing money, and it's going to bring down their stock valuation. It's going to make them unable to get as high loans as they used to be able to with the banks. And then as well too, it's going to make them unable to make the same amount of shows and movies that they normally make. So let's say in a given year, Netflix makes 100 shows and movies, but then we find out the true statistics and their stock price goes down and their stock valuation goes down. They may only be able to make 20 movies and shows. So we're striking for something that we think we're going to gain, but we may, like, actors and writers may be striking themselves out of work. So, and the biggest common denominator with all of this is AI and the implication of AI in the industry. So bringing it back to the general question, is AI going to replace us?
Can't replace me. AI.
You sure? You sure? Because I can take a scan of you right now, like, well, not me personally, but, a scan can be taken of you. It can move like you. It can sit like you, just like this.
Who will do that though?
The studios want to do that.
Okay.
The studios want to do that.
Oh, but so, can someone scan you without your permission?
No.
Okay.
As of right now, no.
Okay.
But who knows where that technology is going to go to? Because it could be a thing where, like, even as we're recording, like, it could get to a point where AI can go and what's called scrape. So ChatGPT does this, where ChatGPT goes and scrapes all the information from the internet and compiles it into an answer that you feed a prompt to, right? And sometimes it's wrong as a result. But the technology can evolve where it looks at video footage and it looks at, the way you turn your head this way, or the way you turn your head this way, or the way you wear your shades, and it could scan you like that without your permission. Well, technically it would be with your permission because you gave it away without knowing that you gave it away. When you sign up for YouTube and TikTok and all these kind of things, right? So it could get to it at that point in time.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the movie Matrix was addressing that exact same issue that you're referring to. So, when Neo made the decision, read the blue pill, and he went into this grungy, mashed up looking area where they're scrounging for meals and all that, that's supposedly the real world. And then when they pushed the thing in the back of their head and they went back to this nice scenery, that was supposedly the computer generated, the AI world.
Matrix.
Right. And then they were fighting against that whole idea. What's his name? Mr. Smith. Agent Smith was one of the main proponents of that. He's like pushing the idea that, no, we want the world to be like this, and you guys are stopping it. We're going to kill you guys. So they're like the virus, right? And Matrix 3 or whatever, when Neo went up into wherever with the machines and all that, and then tried to destroy them, that's victory for us as human beings against the machine, right? And that was the philosophical meaning of the Matrix movie. And when did the first one came out? What, 1999, right?
99, yeah.
This is 1999 that people were talking about this.
I'll give you one even better. So because of this strike, I just learned of a movie called, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it came out in 1980 or 81. Michael Crichton is the director. Why can't I think of the name of the movie? I gotta look it up. But in that movie, they hire or cast models that have the perfect dimensions. So even if their nose is like 2 millimeters off, they go and see the doctor that like gives them the corrective surgery so that 2 millimeters of their nose being off, it's like quote unquote perfect, right? And then what this company found that when they were trying to get these models is that they couldn't move, the models couldn't move perfectly, right? They couldn't move perfectly because they wanted to put all the focus on the advertising product. So they brought the models into this machine that scanned them, and basically what Hollywood is talking about right now. And so that movie came out in 1980, which would have been written in, who knows, 75, 78,
right?
So they've been talking about this since at least the 70s.
Right. So the issue I have with that is
Looker is the name of the movie. Looker.
Right. Yeah. So the issue I have with that is, thank you, girl hand. So the issue I have with that is,
take a sip.
Our
one is
camera producer Sandy.
One is people are only striking because it's now close to home. This AI stuff has been happening.
Yeah.
Not to the extent that you're describing, but I go to Metro and I can scan my stuff and do my own thing and go home. 10 years ago, I went to Metro. All the wickets were filled with people working. Mm-hmm. Now you only have one or two, and the rest of it is just self-serve, and nobody was striking. You know what I'm saying?
They were striking in the beginning.
The Hollywood actors weren't striking because it didn't affect them.
Yeah.
Well, just to interrupt, it's a little bit of a, I don't know if false equivalency is the same thing. It's because right now it's bargaining time.
Yes,
CBA.
but what I'm saying is,
basically.
This is why it's not false equivalency. What I'm saying is, that was like something that's not affecting the actors, so they don't care about that. Even though they go to the grocery stores and they see that the 16-year-old, 7-year-old kid is not getting no summer jobs anymore, right? They don't care about that because it's not affecting them. But now it's affecting you, however way it's affecting you, or whichever way. Now you're striking. That's one thing. Thing number two is, I don't think AI will take over from human beings because of this reason. While AI is very good, ChatGPT can write you a book in 5 days, right? 2 days, maybe 5 hours, right? A really really good book, and it's also going to be a book that seems pretty original, but as you said, it's scouring the net for information, and it's going to regurgitate to you, and whatever your independent idea is, it's going to try to blend it in, right? And give you a book, and it's going to seem pretty original, but really and truly it's plagiarized. But it's not going to matter because people are not going to recognize it. There's something about us as human beings, even though that's true, there's something about us as human beings that we connect with each other, right? When Messi goes up and do a bicycle kick into the net, the reason why it's so effective on your emotions is because there's an understanding from you as an individual that Messi had to have gone through some training. Messi have gone through some sacrifice, and all of these things connected you to that individual. For this individual to be this good, you know he's gone through some stuff. And as a human being, you know how hard that is. And that's what connected you to that Messi kick without even you knowing it. That's why you cheer, yeah, when Messi does something. And to say it in a short way, AI can't produce emotions like that. So I'm saying this has always been, they can display emotions, they can't produce it. So AI could cry. You know what I mean? You seen that movie? What's it called? With the woman in the house, the guy's creating this perfect woman.
Oh, Ex Machina.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's Machina. There you go. She simulated emotions and she tricked the guy or whatever. So it can happen. They can produce it. Sorry, they can display it, but they can't produce it.
So what about video games then? Because
What do you
video
mean?
games is essentially like, so esports has become huge, right?
Right.
And if we use that example of Messi and the bicycle kick, so what if now Messi, or not even Messi, but like whoever's playing the game made their character, so Damion Samuel's character,
Right.
and does the bicycle kick in the game, and
Right.
everybody else that's around it, the thousands of people that are watching,
Right.
they're like, oh, wicked, wicked, wicked.
It's still,
but you just press a few buttons, right? Like,
yeah, but it's still a game. You can't discount that. Now, I real quick, just hear me out for 2 seconds. So there's always a huge debate in philosophy. Don't sleep, man. Wake up.
May I listen to him, man?
You're snoring, man.
No, I'm not.
So there's always a debate in philosophy between empiricists and rationalists, right? About empiricists who say you can't.
Go ahead. Sorry, buddy.
this guy pulled up Instagram in the middle of the conversation.
No.
So you know, this is a part of what we're talking about. We're here discussing AI, and this guy cannot stay off his Instagram for 2 seconds. He wanted to see what's going on TikTok on a podcast.
TikTok, I don't do TikTok, bro.
Whatever you do,
It's
the
actually-
man scrolling.
You know what happened just now?
You're-
My evening Bible scripture came up. That's what happened.
Linky, you went on your phone.
I went on my phone.
Why
my
can't you just
Bible.
have your phone beside you?
We have been talking for 1 hour and 22
So
minutes.
what?
I mean, so what? Let's go.
Get off your phone, man.
Okay. Continue, brother.
Right. So let me wrap this up real quick.
Yes.
So, anyways, empiricism and rationalism, right? They've been a huge debate against those schools of thought. Empiricists is obviously people who think that you can only learn things based on experience. Like you have to smell, touch, taste for you to learn. Rationalists say, no, you can learn things by reason. Like mathematical, blah, blah, blah. 1 + 1 is 2 and 2 + 2 is 4. And you can learn things by that way, right? And you have people like John Locke and Descartes and those people who were arguing back and forth. And what both schools of thought was forgetting the whole time they're trying to push their ideas is this idea of emotions. So nothing drives a human being like emotions, right? And this is like, we're talking about, this debate has been going on for as long as we can think in our civilization. And emotions is still the missing piece. You see what I'm saying? And this is why AI was so hard to figure out, because they can't input that part of it. We don't know how to do that. Which is why it's hard for us to clone people and make people, because we can't figure out that emotional piece. And I think this is where we're going to falter ultimately.
I think I think AI will get closer and closer to, maybe not 100% creating emotion or replicating emotion, but it's getting close.
No, not replicating, producing.
Or producing.
Right.
So for example, when the journalist, I think it was from New York Times, was testing Bing, and Bing was answering him in a certain kind of way, where
Right.
it's like you don't really love your wife, like leave your wife, like come get with me, right? And the AI is telling him this type of stuff, right? Like that in a person that can produce emotion.
Yeah.
And maybe not in that specific person, in that journalist.
But you're leading that. See, what the AI is doing is leading the what can produce the emotion, but it's not producing it. The person is still relied on to produce that emotion, and they still haven't figured that out.
But isn't that still like that is a lot of our human connection emotionally, is the other person producing. Like if I tell you
Right.
and you're just sitting there not doing nothing, and I say like,
Right.
what, yo, what, like, and you could take that all
Right.
kind of different type of
And
ways,
and the human
right?
thing to do, and this is where you get really good as a person, is do not let that even affect you emotionally. Right. Now, so when someone says F you, if you can get really good, you can say, okay, so what? No effect. I don't feel sadness. I don't feel anger. I don't feel fear. None of it. None of what you're trying to jar out of me is happening. Right. And some human beings will react, some won't. That's the problem with AI. How are they going to figure out how you going to get to that point? Right? Because you can have a variation of reactions to the exact same thing. And I think it's infinite. And it's hard for them to figure that out.
Linky, what do you think?
Fuckery. Take a sip.
I think that's mad deep. It's deep and it's organic. It's such a you topic. That is a you topic.
That's definitely.
I mean, shoot, man, because like we see it coming, man. Like the way that like I remember, talking about other industries. I remember when the last presidential election, when Andrew Yang was running for president in the United States, and he was really advocating for truckers out of Iowa, because he was talking about, like, Amazon's getting all these self-driving trucks, and it's going to put out all these truckers in basically middle America, and particularly he kept reiterating Iowa, right? And Iowa, if you live in coastal towns and like big mainstream towns, you're not thinking about middle America and middle Canada for that matter, right? And so that's a similar kind of thing that Damion is saying, is like, you don't feel it until it's on your front door, but right. Like, here's from the grocery store checkout to self-driving cars to even you're getting into a point in time where pilots don't really fly the airplanes anymore. They only just land and take them off, and they're going to get to a point. They're going to progress to a point where right now in a commercial airliner, you need a captain and a first assistant or whatever. You need two people, and it's going to get to a point where you're only going to need one person, right? And then who knows? You may not need anybody. And in certain cities, there are self-driving subway trains right now. There's no drivers. So all these things have been happening with less furrow, so to speak. And then now, because it hits, celebrity status and whatnot, now we're seeing it in a bigger light.
And all of a sudden, everybody's striking, and I can't do this, and I can't.
No, they're striking because of the CBA.
No, they're striking because it's close to home.
Yeah, you have to understand. They went back to the table to negotiate their contracts and what the perks are and blah blah blah, and then this came up, so that's why they're striking.
Yes, but what I'm saying is it wasn't an issue. Anyways, as I said, organic deep. You said it's Fuckery, so that's you,
and that's organic.
Yeah. So what about your topic?
Well, while I topic, but we had talked for 1 hour and 27 minutes. My gosh, we can chat, man. I think we should start next episode with the Fuckery.
End this episode with the Fuckery.
Yeah, no.
Let's go.
No. The 2 hour alone.
Go.
No. And if I'm gonna do a Fuckery topic, it has to be 5 minutes. Like, our viewers, I apologize on this episode. Mr. Organic,
people are engaged,
and Mr. Deep,
people are engaged. What are you talking about?
Almost 80 minutes.
We're here wasting time.
No,
you could have said your topic already.
My point exactly. So
Linky,
I took 2 minutes or 1 minute and 30 seconds to say that, and I'm wasting time.
Linky,
but, yes, my brother.
The #1 podcast in the world, the Joe Rogan Show, average episodes are about 3 hours.
Okay.
And people watch it.
Okay.
The highest paid,
and he has 7.5 million subscribers.
The highest paid podcaster, the #1 podcast in the world.
Check Joe Rogan when he just started.
What happened?
Just do the research.
You're wasting time.
How am I wasting time with two?
Because you could have just easily said it.
My point exactly. Deep and
he could have gave his Fuckery.
So just so you know, he has no topics.
I have a topic. I always have topics.
So
my
Prove me wrong.
My inbox are full with discussion, but I will leave you guys with this one.
Yes.
Which I thought was for Crystal, but a girl, she and a boy, she and her man,
a girl and a boy, or a man and a woman?
A girl and her man, basically.
So a girl and a man?
A girl and a man.
No?
In a relationship, and them kind of
a girl and a man,
kind of at war now.
A girl and a man.
Yes, a girl and a man, a woman and a man, a woman.
Is
and
that
a
the
boy.
topic? Pedophilia?
Can I speak?
Okay. Sorry.
Jesus, Christopher, no sir. As I said, the next show I'll lead off with the Fuckery first. All right, so woman and man in a relationship. I got an inbox. I got a message. So basically, she wanted to know that. She wanted to meet his parents, and they've been together for 6-7 months, right? And she's saying that the reason why he doesn't want to introduce her to his parents is because he has an ex-girl. And it's gonna look away if him bring her there to the family and she doesn't see why she can't meet them, and one big argument. So she's asking me, do I think he's cheating or do I think it's the right thing to do, and how long should you wait to meet your significant other parents?
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? And she in her skin, she feel like he's hiding something, and she want to meet him parents. I don't know if that solidify that.
How old are they?
In their 20s, like 28. I know she's 28.
Because you know what? I feel like when I was in my 20s, I feel like my answer would be like, yo, we got to be together for like 2 years type of thing before you meet Mom Dukes, you know? But now I feel like, well, shit, you might meet my mom on like the second date. Like, you know, you just because you might meet my mom, you might meet my cousins, them on the second or third date, just because, you know, like, so like my attitude about it has evolved as I've aged. So, yeah.
Shouldn't that be an organic thing? Why is that a discussion? Shouldn't it be where, hey babe, you know what? Let's go meet mommy and daddy. You know, as opposed to, oh, can I meet your mom? First of all, if we're dating and you're gonna try to dictate to me when we do what, our dating might be cut short. You see what I'm saying? Like, why are you dictating anything at all? Like, just wait until it happens.
But why would you take that as she's dictated?
Because why are you asking me to go meet my parents? Why can't you let me allow you to meet my parents?
Maybe she feel like she wants to meet
But
your
that's
parents.
what dictating is.
No, it's not dictating. I basically what she's saying is that I find him as a sweet person. I love him.
But this would be fair. This would be fair from her.
Eh?
This would be fair from her. Hey, babe, you know what? I think, you know, I'm really into you. Blah, blah, blah. I think we've progressed so far. And, you know, I think I'd love to meet your parents. And leave it at that.
Isn't that dictating too?
No. You're expressing yourself. You're not telling him, I want to meet your parents. You're saying, you're expressing yourself. You're saying, this is what I would love to do. And you leave it at that and see what he does with that. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. And really and truly, allow the person to be them. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no way you should be saying, oh, I want to meet your parents. And put you in a position where maybe he's not thinking that way at the moment. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
But she never came off as dictating, though. She said she brought it up to him and just brush it off and said, I feel like
but now you're putting yourself in a position where you're pondering, oh, is he cheating? Is he? Why you putting yourself in that position? All you got to do is just let it organically happen. That's what I'm saying.
Well, big guy, unfortunately, not everyone is wired like you. You know what I mean?
I don't think there's anybody wired like me.
Exactly.
Which is probably a good thing.
Exactly.
Probably a good thing.
You know what I mean? So
the most truest thing he said on the show.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? So, my friend, if you're watching this podcast, you heard big guys.
Yeah, for one, I don't think he necessarily has to be cheating. Maybe he's just not there yet. Where you are, maybe he's not there. And you're a woman. Women always move a little bit faster than men. So just be patient.
And it could be other things too. Like, you know, I was just talking to one of my boys last week, and you know, he was with his girl for a long, long time, and he never met his girl's parents while they were together, and he learned at a point in time that had to do because she was of one culture, he was of another culture. The parents didn't agree with her being of him in that culture.
Right. There's so many factors.
So it could maybe be something around that. Like
so
something around discrimination.
In that they're two black
people. Yeah, but they could be from different cultures. One could be the Jamaicans. Yeah. Well, they could be from Kingston and country.
Oh my God! With that being said, we are.
He was always trying. Wait, you think they know this? Oh. To comment at the bottom.
I'm gonna say that.
Jeez. Share. You know, subscribe. Like. Share. You think they know that?
Let us know in the comments. Will AI replace us? And when do you bring your dating partner home to your parents?
Yes, at the bottom.
In the comment section.
At the bottom.
With that being said, until next time, be kind, be good, but most importantly, love one another.
Ta-ta.
Deep.Organic.Phuckery. We're out.
All right.